Anita, we're ready when you are.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. You are in attendance for Invest Atlanta's homeownership Q&A session. And you are super lucky because this is the last session of the year. We will resume our monthly sessions in January of 2022. So just want to say welcome, and I want to take some time to introduce my partners that are here with me this evening. Before I do that, I just want to give a few kind of housekeeping tidbits. So you all are joined in mute mode, in silent mode tonight, and you will remain in silent mode. We generally will have anywhere from 50 to 100 people on. So you will remain in mute, but please, 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 if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. At the end of the presentation, we will have a very robust Q&A session where we will answer the questions from the Q&A box. We will answer those questions live. So don't be shy. Please, if you have any questions at all, add them to the Q&A box. You will also get a copy of the presentation after the presentation that will have all of the contact information for the Invest Atlanta team members, as well as our guests that you will hear from this evening. So don't worry about that. You absolutely will get a copy of the presentation. And you will also get a link to the recording, because as you can see, this session is being recorded tonight, and every time we record it, but a little different this evening. I will be presenting the entire presentation myself. It is usually shared by my team members, but this presentation will replace the recorded presentation that is currently on our website. So I will be doing it solo, but let me introduce you to my team members that are here with me tonight. And that are a part of this process, and that have very important jobs with regards to our down payment assistance program. So Felicia, jump in, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Felicia Neal. I am your mortgage loan specialist. Looking forward to working with you. And yes, like Anita said, you got in on the right time. This is the last Q&A for the year. I can't believe it's already the end of the year, but we're excited, and we got some good things in store for you guys. So please stay tuned to the whole thing if you can. It will greatly benefit you.
Thanks, Felicia. So right about that. Kirsten Ryans, jump in, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kirsten Ryans. I'm the homeownership coordinator here at Invest Atlanta. I work closely with the home buyers and also with the closing attorneys. So when you find your property and you're all ready to close, I will be involved, very involved, and I'm here to answer any questions and help you out along the way in any way that I can. I look forward to working with you all in the future. And as my colleague said, you're very lucky to be on here tonight because this is our last presentation of the year. So I wish you all the best and look forward to helping you on your homeownership journey.
Thanks so much, Kirsten. And also, guys, our honorary member of the homeownership team, Michelle Lewis, you heard from her at the beginning. She is working behind the scenes to run our platform. So just want to acknowledge her. And then we have several special guests that are on the line tonight as well. Our participating lenders are mission critical to our process, and two of them have joined us this evening. So Cheryl Crawford with Diamond Residential Mortgage, please say hello.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cheryl Crawford. As Ms. Anita has stated, I am a mortgage loan originator and branch manager of Diamond Residential Mortgage in Decatur, Georgia. And I look forward to speaking with you and answering your questions this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. And we also have another one of our participating lenders, one of our top producers, Michelle Wentworth, now of Silverton Mortgage. Say hi, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Wentworth. I'm a 20-year veteran in the mortgage industry and have worked with Invest Atlanta for almost that entire time. So happy to be here and answer your questions and hopefully help you purchase your first home.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And last but not least, guys, we have in the house tonight Ms. Karen Babaneau of the Atlanta Land Trust. And I want Karen to take a moment to talk to you about the Atlanta Land Trust and how that process works, a little bit about how that process works, not a whole lot, but it's the Atlanta Land Trust is a major partner with Invest Atlanta, and they will have new construction homes that are coming online in the future. And so not to steal her thunder, Karen, please say hello.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Karen Babano with the Atlanta Land Trust. I'm the stewardship manager, so I'm your point of contact. And I just want to let everyone know that we are a nonprofit organization, and our goal and our mission is to provide permanently affordable housing primarily around the Beltline. And we do this by acquiring land and stewarding the land with new homeowners, and we build new construction or we fully renovate homes. So we have an information session monthly, and this month is our last one as well. It's always the second Saturday of the month, second Saturday at 10 a.m. So the next one will be November 13th, which is next Saturday, at 10 a.m. You can go to our website, atlantalandtrust.org, and you'll have my contact information on the follow-up email that Invest Atlanta sends out. I'll also have the link on that email for our new townhome development in Oakland City. It's literally 3 blocks from the Oakland City MARTA station. It's called the Avenue at Oakland City. It has its own website, so feel free to Google Avenue at Oakland City, and you'll be able to see our progress and floor plans and everything. So I love being on this call. Unfortunately, I have another call, so I'll be dropping off earlier than normal, but I appreciate the opportunity.
No worries. Thank you so much, Karen.
Sure.
And so guys, please make a point to attend the Atlanta Land Trust information session as well. You will hear a program tonight that is specifically paired with Atlanta Land Trust homes, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind and make it a point to get out to one of those sessions at some point so that you can have that information in your back pocket as well. All right, guys, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So as I click through, you are seeing folks that have received our incentives in the past. You know, we like to showcase happy homeowners that we have had a hand in their homeownership journey. So you will probably see them throughout. But today we've done our introductions. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the incentive basics, the benefits of homeownership, the details of the incentives that we have to offer, and then we'll have a very robust Q&A. And guys, when I say robust, I'm very serious about that. Please stay for the entire session. One thing that I do need to say is that the Q&A attendance is a requirement for getting our incentives, right? And so to that end, it's a requirement for you to be here no less than an hour. If you are not online with us for at least an hour, you will not get credit for being here. So, you know, that's motivation for you to stay because you want your credit for being here. And how you will receive your credit for being here is that Ms. Felicia will send out a confirmation to you after probably tomorrow after our presentation. But the reality is she can see how long you were on the call. If you were not on the call for at least an hour, you will not receive that email, which means you will not get credit for being here, okay? But the reality is that the information is great. You need to stay. There will probably be an hour's worth of question and answer, okay? And you'll get more information just by listening to the questions other people have. So definitely stay with us, okay? So we always love to start any presentation that you will hear from anyone in Invest Atlanta is who is Invest Atlanta? We're always flabbergasted when we ask folks, have you ever heard of Invest Atlanta? If you were sitting in our boardroom in front of us, we would say, how many of you have heard of Invest Atlanta? And we're always shocked at the number of people who have not. But Invest Atlanta is the economic development agency for the city of Atlanta. And to that end, our job across the entire entity is to grow the economy, really to grow the economy, create vibrant communities, and increase the prosperity for all Atlantans. And we do that in a number of ways. We have an economic development side of the house, and we have a community development side of the house. And both of those divisions provide incentives to help increase the economy. So for instance, the Ponce City Market project is an Invest Atlanta finance project. Portia is an example of our economic development team bringing jobs to the city. We have a whole team that goes out and tries to convince companies to move their headquarters to the city of Atlanta and bring their high-paying jobs as well. College Football Hall of Fame is an example of a redevelopment project that Invest Atlanta has funded. And Lotta Fruta is an example of a recipient of a small business loan that Invest Atlanta provided. So a lot of times people don't understand the depth of Invest Atlanta's, reach and involvement in growing the economy. These are just a few examples of how we are involved. But I know you guys are here to talk about home ownership, so let's get to it. And what we know is that renting versus owning, with renting, our rent always goes up and never goes down. And so what we want to show you on this slide is that with regards to owning, in many cases, you will pay less owning a piece of property than you will renting. And that ownership also gives you the opportunity for to create future equity and begin your journey to economic growth. So in this example, renting this particular house, it's going to cost you $1,275 a month. If you were to purchase that home, you could have a monthly mortgage of about $898 a month. So as you can see, great savings there, okay? So please keep that in mind, especially now because rents are crazy. Now, so again, we work for Invest Atlanta. Invest Atlanta's jurisdiction is the city of Atlanta proper. So we are always going to be pushing the city of Atlanta. So why live in town? Why live in the city of Atlanta? But the reality is you are closer to jobs. Again, we're trying to bring great jobs into the city. So you are closer to those jobs. You have better access to public transportation, jumping on and off MARTA all throughout the city. More businesses, again, are moving to Atlanta thanks to Invest Atlanta. You have better access to green space and parks and social life and recreation. You're going to see a couple of examples of two fantastic parks that have just been completed in this presentation. And then the reality is that residences in the city retain their value better than those out in the suburbs. Okay, so that alone is definitely worth considering in town living. You know, and if Michelle was doing this presentation, she would tell you how many times in a weekend she runs back and forth, you know, to the city. Why do that when you can just live in the city and be where everything is? She would also tell you a story about how I live in the city, and I oftentimes would say to the team, hey team, I'm running home for lunch. I'll be right back. And Felicia and Kirsten live out in, I'm sorry, not Kirsten, but Felicia and Michelle live in what could be considered East Egypt. And so they would be looking at me crazy, like, oh, you just going home? Okay. But yes, so all the benefits of living in the city. I am a self-proclaimed ITP snob. Come join me in the city of Atlanta, please. All right, so one of the things that we like to kind of show you, because again, it's our job to sell the city of Atlanta. We want you to come and buy your home in the city of Atlanta. So we like to show you a lot of the changes that are happening, right? So underground Atlanta. Now I know you haven't been to underground Atlanta in some years, right? And it's not somewhere you can rush out to right now. Michelle would say that, you know, her family would be like, hey, can we go to underground? Yeah, no, not right now, not right now. But this is a rendering of what the underground will look like. So the underground is being brought back to its original glory, and it's in the process. You can't see it up top right now because they're working underground on the underground portions of it. But the eventuality is that the underground will be, excuse me, will be back. Okay, Summer Hill. Now you can see this already, portions of this already at Summer Hill, even though we lost the Braves. Go Braves, yay Braves, woohoo. You know, that area is under great renovation right now. And so you can see, you know, the new student housing, the new apartments that are already up, the new restaurants that are there. So this is a project that is also in process, right? Pittsburgh Yards is another one. So this area is just off of the university exit off of 7585. And this is a very good rendering. It's not quite finished, but it looks very close to this right now. And the Beltline runs just behind this project back here. Okay. Cook Park. So one of those magnificent parks that I was just talking about, being closer to green space. So Cook Park is an example of a fantastic park that also serves as a water reserve, similar to the old Fourth Ward Park. It's beautiful. And the West Side Park, I believe they recently had the ribbon cutting and grand opening for West Side Park a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, guys. So listen, the reason why we want to tell you about all of the development that's happening in Atlanta because selection and location selection of your new home is mission critical, right? You want to buy in an area that's going to increase in value, right? Because that is going to start you on your journey of generational wealth. We have seen our clients buy in early 2015 and sell this year and leave the closing table with several $100,000. Can you imagine how that can change your life? And that was simply by selecting well, choosing well, right? So this is one of the reasons why we want to show you some of the up and coming development in the city of Atlanta, okay? It's very important that you keep your ear to the ground so you understand what's coming in the way of redevelopment, okay? All right, let's move on. So let's talk about these incentives. So currently Invest Atlanta has 6 incentives that are available, and they are all available, right? Please don't ever let anyone tell you that Invest Atlanta does not have any funds, okay? Even if one of these programs is not available, 4 or 5 of them are, okay? So we always have funds. I have been working for Invest Atlanta for 7 years, and we have never not had down payment assistance funds in the time that I have worked here. So please keep that in mind. So we have Home Atlanta 4.0, Atlanta Affordable Homeownership Program, we like to call it AHOP, Vine City Renaissance Initiative, ATL Home Renovation Advantage, In-Town Mortgage Assistance Program, and the Perry Bolton Mortgage Assistance Program. Okay, and so I'm going to go over the basics, and these basics apply to all 6 of those programs, and then we'll get into the details of each one a little later. So we require that you attend an Invest Atlanta Q&A session. So you are here, you can check that off your list of things to do, as long as you stay in this session for at least an hour, but please stay for the entire session, right? All right, so we require that. We also require that you attend an 8-hour home buying education course with one of our participating agencies, okay? Those agencies are listed on our website, okay? So please go to the website, check out an agency, figure out when they have a class that works for you, take that class. You should receive a certificate from that education provider that you will need to provide to your lender. Your lender will ask you for that, but that's how you get credit for attending that 8-hour class, okay? You're gonna get an email from Invest Atlanta as proof of your attendance at Q&A. You're gonna get a home buying education certificate from the education provider, okay? That is a requirement. Before you close, you have to have done that, all right? If you have an interest in buying a home and using a renovation loan, then you've got to take a renovation training as well, in addition to those other 2 classes, okay? And that's critical because we do have a couple of programs that can be paired with a renovation loan. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a little bit, okay? So one of the most important things, you must use one of our participating lenders and close with one of our participating closing attorneys, okay? And the reason why we require that, guys, is because a mortgage loan transaction is already very, very entailed. And then when you add down payment assistance to that, that just creates another level of stuff, okay? And we want to make sure that you are working with a lender that knows and understands how to work with down payment assistance, okay? And a closing attorney that knows how to close down payment assistance loans, okay? And so that's why also 2 of those participating lenders are on the phone tonight, okay? All right, so an existing property must be inspected prior to closing. You do not have an option to skip an inspection. It is very important to us that you know and understand exactly what's going on with that property before you close on it, okay? You must contribute at least $1,500 of your own funds into the transaction, okay? So even if you're getting $15,000, $20,000 from us, you had to contribute $1,500 of your own money, okay? That's not a really big deal though, okay? Because by the time you pay for an appraisal, pay for an inspection, put down earnest money on your contract, you will have met that $1,500 threshold, okay? But it's just important that you know that. We require you to have at least $1,500 skin in the game, okay? Now that doesn't mean that's all you need, okay? That depends on how much down payment assistance you receive. Even if you do receive $10,000 in down payment assistance, you still may need to bring some funds to closing. It really just depends on what your price point is, if you receive any seller paid closing costs, get any help from the seller. So I don't want you to take that as I only need to put $1,500 into this transaction and that's it, okay? All right, so we don't have a first-time homebuyer requirement. Well, let me say one of our programs does. Our requirement is that you cannot own any property at the time of closing. Okay, you cannot have ownership interest in any property at the time of closing. Okay, even if you owned a home 6 months ago and it's sold, as long as you don't still have ownership interest in that property, you could qualify for 5 of the 6 programs. Okay, and ownership interest, if someone in your family passed away and they left that property to you and your siblings, you have ownership interest in that property. Okay, and as long as you are on title to that property, even though you didn't go out and buy that property yourself, if you are on title to another property, then you have ownership interest in that property. Okay, and it will exclude you from the program. All right. All right, and probably most important, you heard me say that Invest Atlanta's jurisdiction is the city of Atlanta, the city limits of Atlanta. So you must be buying your home inside the incorporated city limits of Atlanta, okay? And you're probably saying, what does that mean? Where is that, right? Well, loosely speaking, that is inside the I-285 loop, okay? But specifically speaking, that property must pay City of Atlanta taxes, okay? And the only reason I say loosely speaking inside of I-285 is because there are some little wonky areas when you get close to the perimeter. You can be on one side of the street and be in the city, and down the street, 2 houses and be outside of the city, okay? So to that end, we use the City of Atlanta's GIS system to confirm if a property qualifies for the program. Okay, and is in fact in the city of Atlanta. So when you go to this website, if you enter the address, it should return 3 pieces of information to you. Okay, the city council district, the NPU letter, which is neighborhood planning unit, and the neighborhood name. Okay, you should get those 3 pieces of information back. The only caveat to that is if it's a new construction property and they have not entered that information into the GIS system. And if that is the case, then you just need to have your realtor confirm that the property pays City of Atlanta taxes, okay? And if it does, then that property is eligible, okay? All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Home Atlanta 4.0. This program is the only grant program that we have available. So with this program, it is a first mortgage program as well as a 3.5% grant, okay? And that grant, that 3.5% grant is 3.5% of the loan amount. That is how you calculate how much money you're going to get. It's 3.5% of the loan amount, okay? And those funds are forgiven immediately at closing. There is never any opportunity for you to have to pay those funds back, okay? This program also is our highest income limit program, is one of our highest. We have another that is also at this income limit. This is 140% of the area median income. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, our income is based on the number of people that are going to be living in the house that you buy. Okay, this is how we determine if your income will qualify for the program. If you're just a 1-person household, then your income cannot be more than $84,560 to qualify for this program. Okay, if you're a 2-person household, then between the 2 of you, the income cannot be more than $96,600. Okay, if there are children in that home, they count as household members, okay? They don't have income, of course, unless they're over 17, they might, but if they're children, they count. So you can have a 3 or 4 or 5-person household if that household has children. And then you're referring to the appropriate income limit listed there, even though the kids don't have income, okay? Now, the caveat to that is if you have a child that's over 17 that works, that income is going to count. Okay, so if your kid works at Six Flags, over 17 and works at Six Flags, that income has to be included. Okay, if grandma lives in the house and she gets Social Security, that income is included. Okay, so that is the way that you are going to look at each one of these programs to determine if you can income qualify. How many people are going to be living in the house that you buy, not the people that are living there now, unless they're going to move with you. How many people are going to be living in the house that you buy, and does that combined income fall below the per person income limit that you see for each program? Okay, because, and they vary, all right? So don't take this one slide and make it Bible. You have to look at the slide for the appropriate program, okay? All right, just want to get all of that out as we move forward. All right, so Home Atlanta 4.0, again, the grant amount is 3.5% of the loan amount. The first mortgage loan has to be a 30-year fixed FHA or VA loan, okay? You do not have an option to do a 15-year loan or a 25-year loan. And the reason is the 30-year loan makes the payment more affordable, okay? And our goal is to create an affordable payment scenario, which is why we're helping with the down payment, okay? All right, so your maximum purchase price on this program is $325, right? Your minimum FICO score, credit score is 660 with a maximum debt to income ratio of 45%. All right, if your credit score is 680 or above, then your debt to income ratio can go up to 50%. Okay, and we'll talk about debt to income in 1 second. Single family, detached homes, townhomes, 2 to 4 units, condos, all of those property types are eligible. So if you find a 2 to 4 unit property or a duplex, as long as you are living in one of those units, you can use our incentives to help you with the down payment. Okay, there is no asset cap with this program. Okay, so that means if grandma gave you $25,000 to help you with your purchase, you can still come and apply for this program. Okay, this is the only program that does not have a liquid asset cap, and we'll talk about those as we get to them. All right, and the other important thing is that the interest rate for this first mortgage is going to be set by Invest Atlanta. Okay, normally when you speak to a lender, the lender's going to say, hey, Ms. Jones, this is going to be the interest rate that I can offer you on your first mortgage loan. With this program, that is not the case. We will set the loan and we will set the rate for that loan, and that rate will be the same for everyone. Okay, so let me step back to our debt to income ratio. So Michelle, can you give our class the definition of what debt to income means?
Yes, so basically your debt to income ratio is taking your gross monthly income. We look at gross before taxes, and basically taking a percentage of that gross monthly income to determine how much monthly debt and house payment you can afford. So for instance, if you're someone who makes $5,000 a month and the debt to income limit is 45%, that means only $2,250 of your income could be going towards a house payment and any debt that's shown on your credit report. So that's minimum credit card payments, that's car payments, that's student loan payments. Anything that would be shown on your credit report is calculated into that debt to income ratio with the new house payment. So, if you can't go over 45%, we've got $2,250. So if you've got $1,000 in credit card, student loan, and car payments, then that's going to leave a house payment that you can qualify for of $1,250. So that's how we calculate your debt to income ratio.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, let's move on. Atlanta Affordable Homeownership Program. We like to call this program AHOP. And we are super excited because we have not had this program available in a year, maybe, Felicia. It's probably been a year. And this program is now back. So we're super excited about it. With this program, you can receive up to $20,000 towards your down payment and closing costs. And it is fully forgiven after you live in the property for either 5 or 10 years. And it depends on how much money you take from this program. So up to $14,999 is a 5-year affordability period. When you go from 15 to 20,000, that's a 10-year affordability period. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But with regards to AHOP, here are our income limits. Now, these are vastly different than what you just saw with Home Atlanta 4.0. And that's because we went from 140% of the area median income down to 80% of the area median income. Same rules apply with regards to households, the number of people in the household. But here are your limits, and here's how you determine whether or not you will qualify for our AHOP program. Okay, it is a second mortgage program. So what that means is that $20,000 that you can get out of this program, we're giving it to you in the form of a second mortgage. Okay, your first mortgage is going to be the loan that you get from Michelle or Cheryl from the bank for the purchase of that property. The funds that we give you for down payment assistance are going to be provided in the form of a second mortgage. It's a second mortgage that has no interest rate and no monthly payment. Okay, it just sits there while you serve your 5-year or 10-year affordability period. Okay, if you sell that property inside of that 5-year or 10-year affordability period, then the entire amount must be repaid. So if you got $12,000, that's a 5-year affordability period. If you sold that property in year 4, then you would have to repay that $12,000 at closing. When you go to close on that home, you would pay that $12,000 out of the proceeds of that sale. Okay. And like I said, $15,000 or more is a 10-year affordability period. Okay. The maximum purchase price for the existing homes in DeKalb County is $215,000 and $223,000 in Fulton County. If the property is new construction, then in both counties, the maximum purchase price is $238,000. And guys, the reason that we include DeKalb County in this slide is because there's a sliver of DeKalb County that is in fact inside the city limits of Atlanta. Okay. All right, this program has a $10,000 liquid asset cap. So like I said, everything you will hear from now on has an asset cap. And what that means is that if you have more than $10,000 in your checking, savings, or money market account, then you do not qualify for this incentive. Okay? Liquid assets are things that you can put your hands on immediately. You can walk into the bank and say, give me all my money right now and get it. That's liquid assets. Okay? So your 401k, your retirement account, your stocks, your bonds are not liquid assets because you have to liquefy them. That's what liquid assets means. They're already liquid. You already have access to them. Things that you have to go and liquefy and ask for and sign paperwork and pay taxes on, those are not liquid assets, okay? And they don't count against the cap, okay? This program requires an HQS and an environmental review inspection. So those are 2 additional inspections on top of your home inspection, okay? You do not have to pay for those. They are paid for by the program, but it's important that you know they have to happen, okay? And this is the only program that requires that you be a first-time home buyer, okay? Remember I said all the other programs, the only requirement is you can't own any property at the time of closing with our incentives. This program requires that you be a first-time home buyer. The definition of a first-time home buyer is that you have not owned any property in the last 3 years, okay? If you owned property 5 years ago, you are technically, and you haven't owned it since then, you are technically a first-time home buyer and can qualify for this program if you can meet the income and asset requirements, okay? And then with this program, the minimum FICO credit score is 580, which is much lower than what you saw on previous slides, okay? All right, Vine City Renaissance Initiative. All right, so with this program, you're gonna get $10,000 towards your down payment and closing costs, and it is forgiven after you live in the property for 5 years. You see the income limits here. We are back up to 140% of the area median income. So you just saw those income limits really almost double, all right? So this is also a second mortgage program. If you sell the property inside of the 5-year affordability period, then the entire loan must be paid back. All right, this is a program that can be used with a renovation loan. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to talk a little bit more about renovation loans in a future program because we have another one, but this program can be used with a renovation loan. Keep that in mind. There is no maximum purchase price with this program. Again, you can choose whatever property type you like, single family, townhome, condo, 2 to 4 unit. All right. This is our own, not our only, this is one of 2 area specific programs, okay? And I say that because it was our only one for a very long time. We recently created another one. But so that means that with this program, you must be purchasing a property within the initiative boundaries, okay? And so the initiative boundaries are Martin Luther King Drive, Northside Drive, Donald L. Hallowell, and Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, okay? Those 4 streets make a very large rectangle. And for those of you that are not familiar, those 4 streets or that boundary is directly across the street from our gazillion-dollar Mercedes-Benz Stadium, okay? So this program was created to incentivize folks to move over there. Okay, so there's a $10,000 liquid asset cap for this program as well. There is a $1,000 program fee, okay, and that is simply an additional closing cost, okay, that can be paid by the seller, okay, and we hope and pray that your real estate agent is asking the seller to pay some of your closing costs. If we were in person, I would ask who the realtors are in the room, and I would ask them if they always ask the seller to pay closing costs, and they always say yes. So just keep that in mind. And so with this program, the acceptable credit score and debt to income ratio is determined by the lender. And so what that means is if the lender says, hey, I can get your loan approved at a 600 credit score and a 47% debt to income ratio or a 55% debt to income ratio, then we will take it. As long as the lender can get it approved, then we will take it, okay? And so again, with regards to renovation, if you are going to do a renovation, just a reminder that you also have to take the renovation training class, okay? And Resources for Residents and Communities is our education provider that provides that training. All right, here we go with ATL Home Renovation Advantage. So with this program, you are also getting $10,000 towards your down payment and closing costs. There is no affordability period for this program, okay? The funds will be repaid upon the sale of the home, no matter when that is, okay? So it's important that you know that. Our lenders are probably going, what now? That is a change in this program, okay? All right, so here we go with our income limits. These income limits are at 120% of the area median income and also must go by the per person household limits, okay? So looking at those the same way. All right, so the big thing about this program is it must be used with a renovation loan. And we show you this slide because we look at this side and then we look at how beautiful things can be once we've done a renovation. Okay, this is a second mortgage program. Okay, and again, no affordability period, but there's a 5-year compliance period, guys. And so what that means is that, you know, our incentives are not for investors, right? We want our funds to go to home buyers, people who want to buy homes in the city of Atlanta and become active community members, right? So we want to ensure that when we provide funds for a purchase, that that is going to be a primary residence purchase. So that compliance period says that we want to ensure that you're living in this property as your primary residence for at least 5 years. What you do after that, we're okay with, okay? But for at least 5 years, that's got to be your primary residence, and our compliance team is going to be checking to ensure that it is, okay? All right, so the fun part, this program has got to be paired with an FHA 203K or a conventional home style renovation loan, okay? So a renovation loan, guys, is a loan that is used to purchase the property and also finance the renovation of that same property in one loan, right? So most of the time when you're looking at a home, you're thinking in your head the things that you'd like to change, and you're also thinking about how you're going to pay for those things you'd like to change, right? With a renovation loan, you're able to roll in the cost of those repairs into your purchase money loan, right? So you're not having to worry about pulling the cost of those repairs out of your pocket. Okay, so it's a great loan and a great way to be able to buy affordably, right? We have a joke around here that, you know, we know y'all watch HGTV, and the property brothers have already told you if it's already ready, then it's too expensive. We can't afford it. We can't afford it when it's already renovated. But if you take something that has really good bones and you buy it in at an affordable price, you can do those renovations and keep that property affordable. Okay. And so important to know, guys, that we're not saying that you need to tear something down to the studs like you see on HGTV, right? Renovation can be as simple as replacing the carpet, getting new paint, getting new cabinets in your kitchen or new appliances in your kitchen, right? Focusing on the systems, the things that are really expensive to replace, right? If you are looking at a home that you love and an inspection comes back and it says, oh my God, that roof, you've only got about 2 years on that roof. A roof is really expensive to fix, right? But you can use a renovation loan to roll in the cost of that roof repair. So it's something that you don't have to worry about for 20 years. Same thing with the HVAC, the furnace, the hot water heater. You know, you can use your renovation loan to make sure that all your systems are new so that you're not worried about those things breaking down anytime soon after you move in. So that's how we want you to look at utilizing, you know, a renovation loan. Okay. We've had lots of people do it very, very successfully. The young man that I was talking about earlier that walked away from his closing, sold his home and walked away with $200,000+. He did a renovation loan back in 2015. Okay. So it's something absolutely to consider. All right. All right, so let me get back down to this list. The maximum purchase price here is $325,000. It has a $1,200 program fee that can be paid by the seller. It also has a $10,000 liquid asset cap. Your property must be located, the property that you buy must be located inside the city limits of Atlanta, but outside of the Vine City and English Avenue boundaries. And the reason why, guys, is because we just talked about that program. It has the capability for a renovation itself, right? So if you buy a property inside of those boundaries, you're going to be using the Vine City Renaissance Initiative program, not this one, because it allows for renovation. All right. Again, buy what you want. Any property type will qualify for this program. Again, the credit score and debt to income ratio is determined by the lender. We need to remove the fact that this program can't be layered with other programs. It can't be layered with other Invest Atlanta programs, but Atlanta Housing will allow layering with this program, okay? So that's, and we'll talk a little bit about layering in a little bit, okay? All right, and again, if you're going to do any renovation, you must attend a renovation education course, right? I just gave you a very, 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 very high level on how a renovation loan works, but it's very important that you take the class and understand all of your responsibilities if you're going to embark upon a renovation loan, okay? Super important. That's why we require it. All right, in-town mortgage assistance program, we like to call it IMAP. So this is a hybrid program. We kind of meshed the program guidelines of two different programs together to create this program. So with this program, what you are getting is either an FHA, VA, or conventional first mortgage loan, as well as $10,000 in assistance for your down payment and closing costs. And I will just say right now, we are running we're running a special like I'm giving away candy or something, but a special on this program where the incentive amount is $20,000 right now, okay? And we've been running it since June, which is National Homeownership Month, and we will run it through the end of the year and possibly beyond, but I'm committed to the end of the year for a $20,000 incentive on this program, okay? There is no affordability period. These funds will be repaid upon the sale of the home, okay? And as you see, your income limits are here. That's 120% of the area median income. All right, so again, this is a second mortgage program with no affordability period, the same 5-year compliance period that we just talked about with ATL Home Renovation Advantage, okay? If you are doing an FHA loan, you've got a minimum credit score of 660 that you've got to meet and a maximum debt to income ratio of 45%. If you are doing a conventional loan, you've got a minimum credit score of 640 and a maximum debt to income ratio of 45%, okay? And if your credit score is above 680, if you're doing FHA or conventional, then your debt to income ratio can go up to 50%. Okay, your maximum purchase price here is $325,000. You've got the same $10,000 liquid asset cap. You've got a $1,000 program fee. You choose whatever property type you like. And with this program, we will set the interest rate on your first mortgage loan. Okay. Last but not least, guys, Perry Bolton Mortgage Assistance Program, and this is our newest program. And this is the program that I was talking about that pairs with the Atlanta Land Trust properties. Okay. Some of the Atlanta Land Trust properties, I should say. So with this program, what you're getting is up to $20,000 to assist in your down payment and closing costs that is fully forgiven after you stay in that property for 5 years. So you will see two versions of income limits, 80% of AMI and 20% of AMI listed here. And the reason is, if you are at 80% of AMI and you're purchasing a home that is permanently affordable, like one from the Atlanta Land Trust, then you are eligible for the $20,000 in assistance. Okay. And of course, the property has to be in the Perry Bolton tag. I should probably say that. If your income is up to 120% of AMI, and as long as you are purchasing a home within the Perry Bolton tag, you are eligible for $10,000 in assistance, okay? So Both of those are in the form of a second mortgage. Okay, if you sell the property inside of the 5-year affordability period, then the entire amount has to be repaid. All right, the property must be located within the Perry Bolton tax allocation district. I'm going to show you where that is in a minute. Okay, maximum purchase price here is at $300,000. You've got a $10,000 liquid asset cap, a $1,000 program fee, and the debt to income ratio and credit score is determined by the lender. Okay, so here is a little map that we've created to kind of give you an idea of where the Perry Bolton TAD is. So this little blue dot here is Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Okay, what you see in the purple, so just northwest of downtown, is the Perry Bolton tax allocation district. Okay, and what I will tell you is that from a development perspective, there is a lot of stuff happening in the Perry Bolton TAD. A lot. We have approved projects for new construction, single family new construction in the Perry Bolton TAD, 2 so far already. All right, so there is affordable new construction coming to this area. All right, so pay attention. We will do our part in letting you know when they begin to market these townhomes, but just keep that in mind because we get a lot of questions. Where is the affordable new construction? Well, it's coming. Okay, probably won't come out of the ground until mid-year next year, but it is absolutely coming. So get all your ducks in a row, please, so that you can take advantage of that. All right. All right. So who benefits, guys? All right. So since 2010, we've assisted 1,294 families with 1,532 loans. And I always ask the question, why is that number different? How did we assist 1,200 families, but we gave away 1,500 loans? And the answer is, in many cases, we were layering incentives. Okay. Now, we are not layering Invest Atlanta down payment assistance incentives right now, okay? And I'm not sure that when we will, but what I will tell you, the layering option, okay? Hope you got your pens and pads together. The layering options are Atlanta Housing, okay? Atlanta Housing provides a $20,000 or a $25,000 incentive, depending on your line of work. In Atlanta NSP, which is Atlanta Neighborhood Stabilization Program, ANDP, which is Atlanta Neighborhood Development Partnership. They often provide down payment assistance as well on the properties that they sell. Okay, we will layer our down payment assistance with them. Okay. We do not currently layer with NACA, and we do not currently layer with Georgia Dream. Okay, so we always like to just let you guys know that because everybody wants to know, how can I layer? How can I layer? The most common layering scenario is Invest Atlanta and Atlanta Housing. Okay. All right, let's talk about this pathways to success, right? First, attend a Q&A. You're here, check. Second, go to homebuyer education, guys, and you have to do this on your own. You have to go to our website. You've got to identify all of the partners, pick one, go to their website, look to see when their classes are. If that doesn't work for you, pick another one, go see where their classes are and register and attend one of their classes, okay? We're not going to tell you who to go take homebuyer education with. You've got to go to our website and go figure it out, okay? There's a list of probably 13, 15 providers there, all right? Then you're going to get pre-qualified with one of our participating lenders, okay? They are also listed on our website. Top producers are identified, okay? I'm going to show you an example of that list in a moment, okay? Your lender is going to pre-qualify you for your first mortgage and tell you whether or not you can actually buy, right? Because you've got to qualify for a first mortgage loan before you ever need us. You got to be able to buy a house before we can provide you with down payment assistance. But when your lender pre-qualifies you for your mortgage, they're also going to be talking to you about Invest Atlanta incentives. You should be talking to them when you call them. Hey, I went to the Q&A session and I think I qualify for the IMAP program, or I think I qualify for, the AHOP program. All right. So when they pre-qualify you, because they're going to have all your documentation, they're going to let you know, yes, ma'am, you do qualify for AHOP. Okay. Because your income limit is in line. You don't have more than $10,000 in the bank. They're going to be looking at all of that. Okay. So you need to be talking to them about the program that you want to participate in. All right. After you get pre-qualified, you are going to get your own lender. Your own agent. We do not have a list of participating agents. My suggestion to you is that you ask your lender for a referral, because what you want is a team that knows each other, likes each other, works really well together, right? Because your lender and your agent are mission critical to your success, right? So even though we don't have a participating agent list, ask your lender for a referral, please, so that you know that you have a good, working team. That agent needs to get you help you find a property inside the city limits of Atlanta, and hopefully negotiate a contract no less than 45 days. I know that's hard, guys. I know it's hard, but no less than 45 days, especially if you're going to layer programs, right? Because we've got a process. Atlanta Housing has a process. You have to allow both agencies to get through the process. They're not the same. So, if you want the benefit of that $45,000, you've got to give both agencies time to do what they do. Okay. So you're under contract. Once you're under contract, your lender is going to send us your package, right? Your package for review. They're going to send it to Felicia. Felicia is going to review it for everything that is required that we need. The lender already has the checklist. The lender is going to ask you for everything that we need, so that when they put it together and send it to us, we have everything that we need. So your interaction with Invest Atlanta is very limited. It is today is really what it is. Now, don't feel like you can't call and ask questions, but your lender is the person that is going to shepherd you through this process. Okay. They're going to send us a package. Felicia is going to review and approve it. And when they send us the package, you're going to get an email that says, welcome. Welcome, we have your package and it's under review. When Felicia approves it, you're going to get an email that says, your file is approved. Congratulations, your file is approved. Okay. And then we are going to wire those funds that we've committed to you, that $20,000 or however much it is. We're going to wire it to your closing. You are going to go to closing, sign all of the documents, and get your keys to your new home. Okay. I know I did a lot of talking on those 7 boxes, but it's really, really very simple. It's super important that you understand, though, that it is your lender that is going to shepherd you through this process, which is, again, why we have participating lenders, because they know and understand how to do that effectively. Okay. All right. So this is an example, guys, of what the participating lender list looks like on our website. Do not take any screenshots of this. It is old and this list changes regularly. Go to the website and look at it. Okay, I just want you to understand what it looks like. All of the banks are listed there, and then the participating loan officers are listed below. All of the programs are listed across the top, and you will see Y's and N's An N means that that lender does not participate in this program. Okay? So you see Academy Mortgage, there's no loan officer that's doing ATL Home Renovation Advantage. They're doing all of the other programs, but they're not doing ATL Home Renovation Advantage. So if you wanted to do ATL Home Renovation Advantage, you should not select a lender that does not do the program. Okay? Just make sure you're looking across the list for the program that you want to do and ensure that your lender that you want to use actually participates in the program. Okay? So again, the steps are easy. And I know we've said it 8 million times, but it's important because we want you to get it and we want you to know how easy it is. Come to Q&A, go to Homebuyer Education, talk to a participating lender to get pre-qualified, find a home inside the city limits of Atlanta, close with a participating closing attorney. And Michelle would call that acronym ISVS. Okay? All right, guys. We are now to the question and answer portion of the presentation. And I, for some reason, I guess because I'm sharing, cannot see any of those. Let me see. Oh, there they go. Let me pull them up here. We don't have a bunch of them right now, but I hope that you guys will begin to put question and answers. And I'm going to ask our lenders some frequently asked questions anyway, and hopefully that'll get you guys rolling.
Anita,
Right. Yes.
before you get started, I see there's one caller on the line using their phone. Please email us or put your email address in the chat so that I will know how to show that you have attended the session. So there's a phone number in there. So email me, fneal@investatlanta.com, or put it in the chat. Put your email address in the chat so I'll know how to email you.
Perfect. Thank you, Felicia. All right. So let's just get started with these questions and then we'll get into some lender specific questions because those are always the ones. All right. Are the Atlanta Land Trust sessions recorded and posted somewhere? I don't know. So what I would say is jump on their website and just check. They may, because we record ours, they may record theirs as well. I'm really not certain. And I think Kieran has already jumped off. All right. Greetings. What's the name of the Oakland City townhomes? The Avenue at Oakland City is what I heard Karen say earlier. And that's super exciting because it didn't have a name for a very long time. That's the first time I've heard the name. The Avenue at Oakland City. Okay. Was I muted? Am I muted? No. Okay. All right. Could you repeat the layering options, guys? So the main layering option is going to be Atlanta Housing. Atlanta Housing, Atlanta NSP, which is Atlanta Neighborhood Stabilization Program that is run by the City of Atlanta, and ANDP's program, Atlanta Neighborhood Development Partnership. Okay. ANDP. All right. All right. If you are a current housing choice participant, will Invest Atlanta help with buying a home? Absolutely. As long as you qualify for a first mortgage to buy a home and you qualify for one of the programs that you saw online tonight, of course we will. Okay. Now, let me just say this, Shannon, the program that allowed you to use your vouchers to buy a home does not exist anymore. Okay. So you would be giving up your voucher and stepping out into home ownership. Okay. So I just want to be clear about that. I'm not sure if you were referring to that program or not. But that program that allowed you to use your voucher to buy a house does not exist anymore. Okay. Felicia, do you see Gerald's email address there?
I'm getting it right now.
Okay, and Georgette has one there as well. Okay. Are there any fees to get in the home buyer education course? Some of them are free and then some of them charge. Okay, so you'll have to get onto those websites and see. We don't dictate or manage those courses in any way. The home buying education, nonprofits manage those courses. So you'll have to get on the website and see who's charging, who's not. Okay, if you layer funds with Atlanta Housing and Invest Atlanta, for example, would the down payment assistance amounts be reduced, or would most be eligible for the max? Most would be eligible for the max. Hannah, we went through iterations of how those amounts were reduced. Well, and let me take that back, because it depends. If you were using AHOP and Atlanta Housing, the city of Atlanta approves our AHOP deals, and there could be an option where they reduce the AHOP award. And I'm just, Felicia, that makes sense to me. You chime in if you think something different. I think it's possible that the city of Atlanta, that we've had city of Atlanta reduce awards before.
Yes.
With regards to dual funding sources. So it's possible. It's possible, but then we've also seen scenarios where folks got the total award from both agencies. So it depends on the programs that you are using, to be very honest. Okay. Will you all consider raising the max purchase price in the future to align with the industry economic inflation? Well, the reality, Sharita, I'm sorry, Chitara. I like to call people by their name, so I'm sorry if I mess it up. Chitara. So the reality is that, there's not a need for us to raise the max purchase price, because the income limits are where they are. So you have to think, if someone is at $40,000 at one of our programs, again, at 80% of the area median income, if they're at $40,000, they're not going to be able to buy something at $400,000 or $500,000 or $600,000. So, our purchase price limits are in line with what our income limits are and what the capability of those income limits are. In the event that the income limits raise, and income limits come out from HUD every year, and they go up slightly every year, but there's no reason for us to have a $450,000 income limit when the majority of our clients, I would say all of our clients, cannot buy at $450,000. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. How does a disability hinder you from being qualified with Invest Atlanta but still working? It doesn't hinder you at all. If you are, if you have disability income, Shannon, that can be used to purchase a home. And I'll let Cheryl chime in on that. How does disability income, factor into home buying, Cheryl?
Okay, in regards to the guidelines from FHA, VA, conventional, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, a borrower cannot be discriminated against based on their disability or Social Security or child support or alimony income. The catch-22 is you have to prove that the income will continue for at least 3 years from your closing date. Thank you.
Awesome. Anything to add there, Michelle, with regards to disability? If you're talking, you're on mute.
Computer difficulties. No, I mean, as long as we can verify that the disabilities going to continue for 3 years, then we can use that income to qualify you.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, the layering program allows you to receive additional financial assistance. Yes, that is accurate. So if you can qualify for our program, let's just say $20,000, and you qualify for the Atlanta housing program because they have separate qualification requirements, you know, that could be another $20,000 to $25,000 because their incentive is $25,000 for, you know, their first responders, teachers, I think former voucher recipients. The incentive is a $25,000 incentive. And so, yes, if you can qualify for their incentive and our incentive, then you can get both. Okay. All right, Michelle, talk about what the employment requirement is, please.
So in reference to employment, you know, we are going to look at 3 years of W-2s, 3 years of tax returns. If you were not working 3 years ago, let's say you were a full-time student 3 years ago, that is not a problem. We would be okay with that. We would just get your school transcripts to verify you were a full-time student. We typically do a verification of employment. We get 3 months worth of pay stubs to verify you're working and making the amount of money that you posted on your application. So we do look at your pay stubs, the verification of employment from your employer, as well as your W-2s and tax returns.
Got it. Thank you very much. Okay, no income for my disability. I should have stated that, but I have a disability from a car accident, but I'm still currently working. All right, Cheryl?
Okay, so what, wait, let me,
So let me clarify, I'm sorry. So this was from Shannon. Shannon had asked the question about how a disability could be a hindrance. And now stating that there's no, she doesn't receive income from the disability, just that they have a disability from a car accident, but still currently working.
oh, okay, yes. We don't ask about your physical condition when you're doing a loan application, so we will not even know about your disability. As Michelle just stated, we will verify your current income with the company you're working with now, and that you've been working, you know, for 2 years or more simultaneously, even if you just started this company and there's no gap, no more than about at least, I would say at least 2 months gap between you being unemployed. And if you're going to receive disability payment as a settlement, as Miss Anita has stated, you have to be careful about what's sitting in your bank account when you're getting ready to, for us, when we get ready to send the file to Invest Atlanta. Some of them, the programs have income caps. So you want to be careful about that as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much, Cheryl. So Georgette Reynolds says, is there a credit or insensitive for people who own business in the area? I'm not sure that I understand the question, Georgette. So there is no, we're not going to take into consideration if you own business in the area. We're going to, the lender, the first mortgage lender is going to take a look at your credit profile to determine whether or not they can qualify you for a first mortgage loan. We are going to take into consideration the guidelines that we just went over for the program that you are interested in to determine whether or not you qualify. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and here is what I was waiting for. I knew somebody would ask if your repayment status with student loans is $0 monthly until renewal. Does this have a negative impact with lenders? Okay, so I knew someone would ask. Go ahead, Michelle. Let's talk about these student loan scenarios. Hot topic of the night.
So, Anita, you're sharing your screen. Oh, there it goes.
What happened?
So student loans actually have gotten a little bit easier recently with FHA. So FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all look at student loan debt differently. If you are in repayment and your repayment is more than 0, they'll use what's on your credit report, as long as you're not in a deferment status. The conventional loans will recognize an income-based repayment program as long as we can document that you were on an income-based repayment program, and that's going to continue. They have to verify you're not in the actual forbearance right now. FHA is a little different. They require that we use 0.5% of the balance as a payment for qualifying purposes. So if you're in deferment or on an income-based repayment program, and let's say the income-based repayment program is 0, they will require that we use 0.5% of the balance as a monthly payment in our qualifying ratios. But on conventional loans, they will let us use 0 if we can verify that you are on the income-based repayment program and that your payment truly is 0. You can't send us like an estimated income-based repayment program. We have to show that you are actually on the income-based repayment program.
Gotcha. Anything else to add, Cheryl? If you're talking, you're on mute, Cheryl.
Thank you. No, Michelle, as always, has covered it pretty good. We're all excited about FHA, especially because a good part of our borrowers are FHA borrowers, which is good because FHA is a very good loan for first-time home buyer. So we're excited. We'd like to push them a little bit more and get it down to back to where it used to be, where it was deferred for 12 months from the date of your closing and you didn't have to count it at all. But we'll take what we have now, which is the 0.5%. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So Leah says, I'm interested in purchasing a loft style condo in the city of Atlanta. Woo-hoo. Is there a limit on the HOA portion of the payment? No, ma'am, we don't have any control over that, but it's very important. Thank you for bringing that up. So I just want to pull that out for people, right? So if you are looking to buy a condo, HOAs is something that you need to consider, right? And those are HOA, homeownership association dues, right? Sometimes HOA dues can be just as much as the payment, depending on where you're looking, right? And so your HOA payment absolutely counts in your debt to income ratio, right? So we don't have any control over, what a condo building decides to charge as an HOA, but our lenders are going to find out what that number is so that they can include it in your debt to income ratio. Is that accurate, ladies?
Yes, that is accurate. We have to count it in the debt to income ratio. And in the city of Atlanta, right now, the HOAs are pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing one now for a 1-bedroom, which I'm surprised is only at $265 a month, but I've seen them as high as $700 a month.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd also suggest when you're looking at condos, a lot of different communities include different things in those HOA dues. So for instance, I used to live in a condo and my HOA included the water, it included my basic cable, it actually included several things. So it kind of offset the fact that it was a little higher. So definitely look to see what's included in that HOA to see if it's worth paying that higher amount or not.
Exactly. Felicia, there's an email in the chat. Please grab that. So Casey says, if you and your partner are listening to the session, does she need to register on her own? If y'all are buying together, then no. If you're not buying together, then they should probably leave their email in the chat so Felicia can make sure that they get an email as well. Okay. How do you start cleaning up your credit? Does Invest Atlanta have a partner to align your credit? So Invest Atlanta does not. I'm going to throw that over to the lenders, and because the lenders are the ones that are going to be looking at your credit and determining, you know, where you stand from a perspective of mortgage readiness. What happens, Cheryl, when you get someone who is not mortgage ready right now?
I'm happy to say at Diamond, we do tell the borrower what their challenges may be. We do go down to a 600 credit score. Of course, the higher the credit score, the better the interest rate. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. We're not doing no 5, 6, 7% interest rate because your score is at a 600. We do have a system built into our credit model. It's called What If. So we see things on the credit. We will tell you if you have to pay down your credit cards to below 33%, or paying off a collection account, because sometimes paying off a collection account that's too old won't affect the credit score at all. So we don't want you to spend money where you don't need to spend the money. So we do have tools here. There is no charge for the service at all. So it's a blessing, because if you don't qualify today does not mean you will not qualify down the road. You have to put in the work. If you listen to us and you're honest with us, there's no hidden agenda. We're going to be here to help you. We have no reason not to help you. Our goal is to see you achieve and become a homeowner. It's nothing more satisfying as being have ownership. That's why Invest Atlanta is one of my favorite partners, because they go after you. They want you to succeed in home ownerships. I mean, look at the time. It's 6:30. You know, a lot of us, we cut off at a certain time, but they're making sure twice a month that you are being fully educated on how to become homeowners and receive 20,000. Some I've closed 40,000, 45,000. So it just depends on, you know, your income and things like that. Sorry, didn't mean to keep rambling.
That's okay, no worries. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for saying that, Cheryl. So I'm gonna let Michelle provide some background on what happens, you know, on her end if you're not mortgage ready today.
Sure, thank you. So we have very similar programs where we can, you know, analyze your credit, look to see if paying certain accounts down, you know, will give you an increase in your credit score quickly. If it's beyond our realm of knowledge, we do have a credit repair company we can refer you to, but we try to do everything for you as best as we can, reviewing the credit and seeing if there's things that we can counsel you on to get your credit score up quickly. But if it's something that's going to need some work and need some accounts to be removed, we do typically have a credit repair company we refer people to help if it's a bigger, you know, project.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Under the list of participating lenders, what does it mean if an agent is in bold? I'm going to let Felicia answer that, but I believe those are our top producers, but I want to be sure.
That is correct. So they're our top producers. So for each month we get top producers. I think I'm doing them quarterly now. So July, August, and September are on there. So anyone on there, they have done the most loans with us for those 3 months. And then just to restate my email address, I think someone asked, it's fneal, as F as in Frank, N as in Nancy, EAL @investatlanta.com.
Exactly. All right. So, Michelle, what if you don't have a credit card?
So unfortunately, at this time, if you do not have a credit score, I do not have an option to do financing without a credit score. If you do have a credit score, we can work with that. You don't necessarily have to have a credit card. You just have to have a credit score. So, you know, we look at everything on the credit. If you just have no credit at all, we will advise you on how to start building credit, because you can go out and typically, you know, apply for some credit, and we have some recommendations on different companies that you could apply with. And typically within 6 months of, you know, on-time payments, you would have a credit score by then. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a credit card, but we do have to have a credit score.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right, Leah. As Leah says, is there a link that I can search with Invest Atlanta so I can search for
I'm
property?
I'm sorry, Anita, can I?
Oh,
can I-
absolutely. Please do. Please do.
Here at Diamond, we do not, I know some lenders have issues with what's called adding a person onto the account. So say like you have a parent or a sister or brother who is willing to add you on as an authorized user, and the account has been in effect for the past 12 months. As long as you can handle that payment though, because we do have to count the payment against you, we will take an authorized user, which sometimes will only take 30 days, depending on the reporting date of the primary credit card holder. So I'm excited about that. There is no rule or regulation with FHA conventional Fannie Mae Freddie Mac in regards to having someone added as an authorized user. So, but you want to be with someone who has had a good payment history for the past 12 months. You don't want to be with someone who has a payment of, you know, 150, 250, because that may hurt your debt to income ratio. So you just want to just speak with a loan officer who does those type of loans to be sure we walk you through the proper way of handling being an authorized user.
Thanks, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
All right. So is there a link that I can search for property? Leah, we do not have a link to search for property. So that's why you need to get an agent. A real estate agent is the individual, that is the partner that you need to enlist to help you find the property that you're looking for inside the city limits of Atlanta. Now, the reality is that it is a seller's market. It's tough right now. It just is. But you know, no, there's no link at Invest Atlanta that's going to identify property, you know, for you. You're going to have to get an agent to help you to identify the property that falls, you know, in the area that you want, that has the specs that you want, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and the things that you've asked for. The agent's job is to help you find that. Okay. All right. All right. So I have no more questions in the chat, but I'm going to let my lenders just kind of jump in since we don't have any more questions in the chat. Let's talk about best practices. Michelle, what kind of feedback you want to give our class today?
So the first best practice, when we start your pre-approval process and qualify you for a home loan and you start looking for a house, please do not go out and open any new credit. Don't buy a new car. Let's not get new credit cards or increase credit limits, because that does impact your qualifying. So, you know, when you get pre-approved and you are out actively looking, just consult your loan officer before you do any major changes like job changes. Job changes aren't always an issue, but if you're changing industry and changing the way that you're getting paid, it could cause a delay. So for instance, if you have worked for the same retail store for, you know, 10 years, and all of a sudden you decided, oh, I'm going to start doing car sales. Well, car sales are commission. And anything that's a commission-based job, we have to see a 2-year history. So that could impact your time frame on purchasing a home. So I always say, if you've got a question and you're not sure if something's going to impact your qualification, reach out to your lender and just check before you make any major changes, because that can prevent you from being able to purchase your home.
Perfect. Thank you. Come on, Cheryl, what you got for the people?
Okay, my best practice would be get ready. You made the first investment in attending the Q&A session. So you want to start gathering your paycheck stubs so you're not stumbling and trying to find them. You want to get 2 months, well, for Diamond, 2 months bank statements. Your W-2s for 2021 is coming up now, but you don't have them. But so 2019, 2020, most DPA requires, down payment assistance require tax returns. So you want to go ahead and have your tax returns in order. I don't offer or do an approval until I view your tax returns, because they are a make it or break it deal, because some of you forget you had a business and wrote off $10,000 in business expenses, which can drop your regular job income by that $10,000 and disqualify you for a mortgage. So if you know you're going to buy a home in 2022, make sure you tell your tax preparer that you plan on buying a home, so to make sure that your taxes are done appropriately, that it doesn't hinder you from purchasing a home. For my buyers, I always tell them, can I please review your tax returns before you hit the button and send them to the IRS in 2022? Because again, you want to put down your W-2 income, but if you have an Uber job or a Lyft job or a baking job or just anything that you do on the side, some of you will show that you have $750 in income again, but you wrote off $10,000. So you want to be really careful about the tax returns, because really it will make or break your deal. I believe that's it. So making sure you know that you want to buy a home in 2022. So make sure you start keeping your paycheck stubs, start, putting them in a PDF and putting them in a folder. So when one of us asks you for, with sophistication of the system, when I email you, you can upload your documents into our portal. So you don't have to really email them to us anymore. It's a secure portal. You set your own password, your own sign-on. So we don't even know what it is. So you have to remember what it is. But as maybe your parents or grandparents say, get your affairs in order. So that's what you want to do, is start getting your affairs in order, because it's important. And we don't want to stress you out by keep asking you for the same things over and over. So just be ready. It's a stressful situation sometimes, because we need things to get you to the closing table. So don't take it personally either. Just go after it. You want it, go after it. And it's going to happen. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. The passion. Yeah, this is a great team, guys. It just wants to see you succeed. Felicia, what you got for best practices?
How did I know you were going to ask me that? I was sitting here thinking while Cheryl and Michelle were speaking, I was like, she's probably going to ask me. and I would just echo what the two awesome lenders, Michelle with Silverton and Cheryl with Diamond, be prepared. When your lenders ask you for information, get it back to them. They're not just asking just to say, let me get your all this stuff, but they're asking because they need the information. So whatever they're asking you for, they need it, because we may have asked them for that information as well. So just make sure that you're, staying on top of what you need to get to them in a timely manner. I mean, you definitely want to do things in a timely manner, because I know you want to close early, but if your ducks not in a row, then you can't go to closing. I would also say, get your realtor and start looking for the property. Get pre-approved. Those three things, get pre-approved, get your realtor, because that's probably going to be your most, stumble block right now, is to try to find a home. So just, and just like Cheryl said, stay positive, and just make sure that you're doing whatever you need to do to stay on top of your things. Keep up with your things, put your things in order, and it will work out. Definitely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, jump back into these questions real quick. Does working for, but Kirsten, get ready. Let me just say that. Does working for state government qualify you for more? No, Sophia, it does not. So there is no, dedication for state government. The Atlanta housing program does have kind of designations like that for first responders, medical professionals and first responders, teachers, and former voucher recipients will qualify you for about $5,000 more with the Atlanta housing program, but we do not have any designations like that currently. Chitara says another best practice, I love it, thank you, tell the people, is to have your credit report viewed by the lender as upfront and early in your purchase process as possible. And I would absolutely agree with that, so that in the event you do have a challenge, you can get to getting after it and addressing it. Is there, I'll just ask my lenders, Michelle, is there a time frame and, in advance of the purchase? How far in advance of the purchase would you say is a good time to, to check?
You mean to check the pre-approval to get that started?
Just to check their credit and see what's going on, and if it is mortgage ready or not.
Yeah, I think the second that you start to consider purchasing a home, you should get in touch with a lender and have your credit pulled, because if you're not sure what your credit score is, unfortunately, Credit Karma is not accurate and is not going to tell you exactly what your mortgage score is. It's a good idea to go ahead and have your credit pulled. Having one pull on your credit is not going to make a big difference in your score. Now, if you've got lots of collections going on and you've just bought a new car and just opened up new credit cards, yes, it could make an impact. But if you're ready to buy a home, you need to have a lender pull your credit to see where your score is and have them counsel you if there's anything that needs to be done to get you ready. The sooner you start working on it to get it where it needs to be, the sooner you'll get into a house.
Agreed, 100%. Casey, thank you so much for your kind words. We hope that you guys are getting great information and enjoying the time spent with us when we do these. So I appreciate the feedback. I love it. Kirsten, you're up. Give me some best practices, please.
I would say one of the best practices that you can do to be in a good position is to do your research. Research the different areas in Atlanta to see where is going to be beneficial to you. If you have kids, what schools you may want them to be in, and that may be near to jobs. So do your research. I would advise you to subscribe to Invest Atlanta's publications, also Atlanta Land Trust newsletter, and Urbanize Atlanta is another good one. That subscribe to as many publications that you can about the city of Atlanta, so you can learn about the community, and it will also let you know when things are up and coming, so you will be well informed.
Woohoo! got tears in my eyes. My baby's growing up. Yes,
I learned from the
ma'am.
best.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Kirsten. Yes, that's exactly right. So Chitara asked to repeat those, so I'm gonna do that because that was about to be my best practice. Kirsten stole my thunder, but I'm so happy about it. So yes, so to Kirsten's point, guys, it is very important for you to pay attention. Pay attention to what's coming, because when you buy in areas that are up and coming and there's a lot of redevelopment, that is going to create opportunity for increased equity for you, right? You want to buy in a place where your home value is going to go up. Your home value is going to go up where they're building stuff, right? And what does Invest Atlanta do? It provides funding for building stuff. So like Kirsten said, subscribe to the Invest Atlanta newsletter. I'm going to talk slow, Chitara, because I want y'all to hear all of these. Invest Atlanta newsletter is a good one. The Atlanta Land Trust newsletter is a good one. In Town Atlanta is a good one. Now Atlanta or Atlanta Now, I don't remember how it goes. Atlanta Now or Now Atlanta is another really good one. These newsletters are definitely going to identify when, especially ours, right? It's going to identify anytime we've approved funding on a new project that is going to come out of the ground at some point in the future. Okay, you guys have got to be strategic. So it's one thing to just want to buy your own house, want to not be renting anymore, but this needs to be a strategic endeavor for you so that you can be one of those people that in the event you want to sell 5 or 6 years from now, that your equity is $100,000 or more. Okay, and that can only happen if you are paying attention and being strategic. Okay, and so that's why we show you all of the up and coming things that are happening. That is why we tell you about the newsletters, because we want you to be informed and, you know, do your research like Kirsten just said. I think that is it, guys. I'm not going to draw this out any longer. We don't have any additional questions. We've gotten all of our best practices from our partners. And I just want to say thank you so much for you all being online with us this evening. We hope that you got great information out of it that you can take forward on your homeownership journey. And we hope that we see your packages come through our pipeline and know that you have made it happen. Again, you will get the presentation. You will get a link to the recording of the presentation. You will get the contact information for everyone that was on the call tonight. And so with that, guys, I will say thank you so much and have a good night.